Are we in a bear market? Have we now seen the cycle top? Are we going to now have institutions that took Bitcoin up to 122k now dumping on our heads, making altcoins go down, meme coins go down, and now we have got 4 years of bearishness? Or are we actually at the beginning of a potential violent uptrend where we could see the actual euphoria top for cryptocurrency to come in the next few months? Well, if you want to know more, watch on, because my name is the Suppoman, your superhero of 100 to 1000x gems. Now, if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to Suppo Live, because this is where I give my insights, and every now and again, I will be giving quite an incredible, I was just flummoxed there. It's saying here that I'm on my main channel, but I don't think I am. Yeah. Yeah, so make sure you watch on, because there may be alpha shared. Who knows? So, let me just make sure that everything is fine and I'm live and everything. By the way, people, if you could, I would be very grateful if you could smash the like on this video. Let me just make sure that everything is fine and dandy with my stream and everything. Yes, it looks like everything is fine. So let me just share this over to the good people of X. Live now. There we are. Done and done. Right, okay, people. So, look where we are. We are in incredibly bearish territory, where it's easy to think right now, maybe we have missed the crypto market cycle top. And the reason one could easily think this is because the market has significantly changed from 2021 and 2017 when we had our last cycle tops. Let me just show you some evidence that would make one think, actually, we could be in a long-term downtrend. So, let me just show you what has happened in the past. So what we've got here is all the way back to 2016, right, where we had the halving back in June 2016. So we had the halving, we had a bit of sideways action, and then what we did have was we had a significant move from that halving. We saw that Bitcoin hit a cycle top from that halving, which was 1,200% higher than the price from halving. 1,200% difference between the halving price of Bitcoin and the cycle top. Now let's have a look and see what happened in 2021. After the halving, we saw that the cycle top was 678%. So actually, perfectly half from halving in 2017 to cycle top, halving in 2020 to 2021 cycle top. Now, let's have a look and see where we are presently from the halving date, which was April 2024, to where we are now. And that is presently, there was a stupid thing in the way, and that is presently 100%. So what we should be seeing in actual fact is that if this was 1,200%, this was 600%, then this should actually be 300%, right? So that would mean that the Bitcoin cycle top would probably be upwards of 200k, which we're not at. But what you can see is from the halving, there has been a cycle top that was significantly higher than the halving price. That happened there, that happened here, and actually it's happening like right now as well. So let me just make sure I got that right. Yes, so we are, yeah, 100, just literally 2x. 2x since that date, right? But there has been a significant increase. And actually, if we go from bottom to top, so this was the bear market bottom to top, that is actually 648%. That's large, right? So normally when the halving happens, it is slightly above the actual big bottom, right? So the bottom here, 16,000. So really, you would have expected this to be the halving price, about 41. But what we had before the halving, unlike any of the other markets, was we had an ETF happen for Bitcoin. So that has slightly skewed the bottom. So where we have a proper bottom, kind of around about here, we don't necessarily have a proper bottom here. Because look, the market did significantly go up, 16k to, wow, to 72k just before the halving. We've never ever had that, where actually the pre-halving price was actually higher than the market top of the previous cycle. We've never ever had that, right? We would expect that we would get around about near or thereabouts. We would probably get to about, maybe 20, maybe 30, 40k. But actually, we were at 59k when the halving happened. So it's slightly skewed. And what I want to say to you, and this is actually being relatively cautious, okay? To be relatively cautious, all right? Because right now, we've got Philocone right now saying, I always shift my perspective to bullish because the hopium is strong. So because now we've got way more influencers than ever on X and on YouTube, like the hopium, when there's a big green candle, everybody's really excited, right? And so he has shifted his perspective to bullish very easily because hopium does get strong. We all feel that way. But I see the data in front of my eyes. The market is absolutely bearish. Understand that institutions and governments are buying to eventually dump on you and get back cheaper. Open your eyes. And if you look further down in Philocone's tweets, he actually says that he believes that the market bottom will be about 30k. Yeah, it's a 75 drop. If 125k is the top for this cycle, a 75% drop would bring it down to a 30k. Now, of course, we're nowhere near that at the moment, but it never happens that the market goes down in a straight line. So it could be the case. I'm not looking to spread any fear, and I am going to be letting you know how I'm playing this right now, very, very shortly. But I just want to let you know that I have been in the markets now for 8 years. And what I have learnt is that you can never time the top. You never know when the top is. In 2017, 2018, we thought there was never going to be a top because there was not any evidence of a 4-year cycle at that point. It had never ever hit before. It never landed. It was only in 2018, after we saw a significant drop, down from the 20k that Bitcoin had gotten to, we saw a significant drop that finally there was evidence for a 4-year cycle, right? That 4-year cycle happened to mirror perfectly with what happened in 2021. Because again, we had a 4-year cycle then. So it has always been the case that 4-year cycles have happened in crypto. But despite that, in 2021, everybody missed the top then as well. Because everybody was waiting for 100k Bitcoin. Right? Everybody, the hopium was so strong, 100k Bitcoin, everybody was saying it. Well, except Richard Hart. But everybody was saying it. And it didn't come. And everybody missed the top. And everybody got wrecked as usual. And right now, where we are, right now, from the market, bear market bottom of 15,000, is that Bitcoin has actually gone up to 120,000. So there has been some form, if you look, there is some form of evidence that there could be a cycle top. Yeah, 122k could be a cycle top. And people waiting for 200k like I am, and like many are, even in excess of 200k, you can hear me and everything, that's fine, is that, actually, just like when we were waiting for 100k, it may not come. Like 125 could have been the, or 123 could have been the cycle top. I, however, have a different theory. And this is what I'm going to be spreading to you right now. Okay? Because right now, if you look, crypto is down majorly. Look, Bitcoin is 109k. Right? Now, I brought you a video literally just 2 days ago. And Bitcoin at that time was 113. It had managed to recover. It had gone down to like 110. Went back up to 113. And it looked like there were slight signs of recovery. But now it's at 109. And I also said to you that in that video, that 106 I saw was, where the support kind of lay for Bitcoin if it continued to go on a downtrend. Of course, if it goes down even further from that, then we could be seeing an upper 90k mark for Bitcoin, right? And that's just, talking on a kind of day-to-day perspective. This will be forgotten very, very shortly. At the end of the day, no one really cares about the day-to-day. What we think about is long-term perspectives. And my personal perspective is it doesn't matter, actually. right? Now, you might think, what the fuck are you talking about, Suppoman? It does matter. We need to see the 4-year cycle if we are going to be having, the generational wealth, the violent gains, what we've been waiting for 4 years. But I'm going to tell you now, it does not matter. Why? Because most of the top assets are not moving. Most of the top assets, okay, yes, we've had some, we've seen Ethereum go from 1,500 to, an all-time high recently, or near an all-time high recently. But actually, in actual fact, as a mean movement, most cryptocurrencies do not move. Okay, the top cryptocurrencies do not move. But let me tell you, regardless of this, because if you've been watching NoBS Crypto and House of Crypto, and I mean, you can look at their videos right now. Just the start, altcoins best to come, don't be fooled, fake shakeout, final shakeout over, NoBS Crypto, don't get trapped, altcoin season, what's changed? He said there's no doubt the alts will explode. Blah, 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 right? So these guys are keeping the hopium alive. But if you watch, well, maybe not House of Crypto, but certainly NoBS Crypto, because NoBS Crypto likes to concentrate on the Ondos, the chain links, the aerodromes, the hyperliquids, those big assets that don't move anyway, right? If you've been watching this channel, there's been no movement anyway. You can watch any video, they will say, daily portfolio check minus 30%. Because if you are in any of the top assets, you're basically in the stock market at this point. I'm using the top assets for wealth preservation, which at the moment isn't working. But I'm using the top assets for wealth preservation, whereas what I'm using the real altcoins, this is what I could call real altcoins, what I'm using these for is for wealth generation, and this can be done rain or shine. Okay, so let me just take you to Doge, right? Doge, the last alt season happened in December last year. This went from under 1 million to near 100 million inside of a month. Without an altcoin season, without any kind of inertia happening with the larger altcoin, with the large cap altcoins, large and high mid cap altcoins, they didn't move a muscle. Whilst DJI 6930 did a 100x. So it doesn't matter if the cycle top has happened. All right? It doesn't matter. What matters is that you are on top of where the excitement is. And the excitement is in meme coins. And these can explode, come what may. They can explode at any time, no matter what. While most of the market is reeling right now, look, we have got stream season at 30%, feet coin at 12%. Okay, largely the coins are in negatives. But that's because of the rest of the market. It depends on the holders in them. But if the excitement is there for a particular meme coin, it doesn't matter what the rest of the market is doing. You can still make insane money. Now, my personal perspective is that we are not at the cycle top, but I said the same back in February. Actually, was it? No, I think I said the same in January 2022, after we had already seen the top, right? And back then, there was no real meme market. Yes, there was, the likes of Shiba and a few like dodgy ones that aren't around today, right? But there was no real larger meme coin market. There was no Solana ecosystem where you could literally just be seeing coins launch and go to an astronomical, 345,000x. No, 345x. No, 3,400x. Yeah, 430x. Like, this is what you can still get despite what's happening in the market. And right now, it is very, very bearish. Extremely bearish. Look, Bitcoin is going down. It's nearly touching 108k. And still you have meme coins doing well. Why? Because money flow has changed in cryptocurrency. It used to be, and still to a lesser extent than it used to be, is Bitcoin, Ethereum, large caps, then mid, low, micro caps. Hence alt season, right? But the new money flow is this, right? Bitcoin, Solana, and meme coins. If we take out Doge and large cap meme coins, we just need to delete this. And what we've got is Bitcoin, Solana, and memes. This is the money flow that I believe is current outside of altcoin season. We don't need this to have this, okay? Bitcoin Solana, full meme season. This is still happening. It's still happening. So all of my plays and all of my future plays are basically cycle proof. All right? It doesn't matter whether we've got we've had the 4-year cycle top, where we've got a cycle top at this point. It doesn't matter. Because the excitement is no longer there for these coins. It's just not there. There's been one coin in the top 100 that has had any excitement lately, which I can't find, and that's Asta, and that's the only one that has had any excitement lately. The rest of them, if you look through the 7 days, you can't find a single bit of red. Why? Because no one gives a shit about large caps anymore. No one cares because you can't make the money from them. The crypto market has changed, where it's changed, but it's not changed. What people came to crypto for in the first place was to make life-changing money. Now, back in the past, you could have made those with altcoins that were, you know, maybe in the top 50, maybe in the top 200. You could have made life-changing money with those. You cannot anymore. Those days are over, but crypto is still the same in the respect that people are still chasing the big money, and the big money is in the meme coin market. And really, the true appetite in the market is seen more on Dex Screener than it would be seen on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. Like, this is now the new, this is the new modern. This is the new crypto. This is how it is. Even when in my personal opinion, when we do see a cycle top, so I do not actually agree with Silicone. And let me show you why I don't agree with Silicone, right? Let me just take you through this, right? Right, so right now, and you'll be aware if you're watching my channel, I am now getting really shit views. 14k, 16, 20, 21, 21, 16, 16, 8. After 2 days, this is normally well above 10, but it's not. It's at 8.6. The appetite isn't there just yet. Just yet. Now, I've been making videos all this year because I don't want anybody to, miss out on the opportunities. And there have been so many opportunities. I've provided tons of opportunities to make money in this market, right? But I've not had decent views for 10 months, right? So let's have a look. The last time I was having decent views was all the way back here, right? 9 months ago, January 2025 was the last time I had decent views. 41, 34, 46, 43, 54, right? And then we have to go back a year, roughly this time last year, where I was having 83k or whatever, right? But let me take you back in real time, okay? So where I was making these videos here, look, look, it's almost absolutely perfect. Are we in a crypto bear market 4 years ago? The same title I've got on this video, right? Why? Because there is always a massive bear trend before the bull trend. Let me show you exactly what I mean, right? So, are we in a bear season? 15k, 28. I was actually getting decent views, actually, funnily enough. 31, 22, 26. And then, suddenly, bang! And you can see where we do the crossover. So, this is where we are right now, 4 years ago, okay? Because look, 4 years ago, then 3 years ago. These two videos are days apart, right? So that means that when I made this video is where we were 4 years ago. And right there, 4 years ago, look, 31, 22, 26, 20. And then now we pivot to 3 years ago, where we are right now. Still, 24, 27. And then all of a sudden, you started seeing the views rise. 42. Then I wouldn't count this one because this was just talking about a specific coin, Shiba Inu, and staking it. So this doesn't count, right? So 42. Then look at this. 50, 39, 32, 39, 82, 83, 87, 57, 66, 67, 81. 434,000. So what I'm saying is is there's always this period where you kind of think it's not going to happen. Look, I couldn't write it better. Are we in a bear market? Are we in a bear market? Same title as now, because just before it all becomes prosperous, just before it becomes joyous, just before the violent upsurge comes, there's always a doubt period. And right there, 4 years ago, I couldn't have written it better. I was saying, are we in a bear market? And look literally what came weeks later. Weeks. 83, 87. 81k. 434,000 views. That shows you there was a small period. Right? In between November, it was October and November. Between October and November, literally a month. And let me tell you this, right? All these gains, most of these gains, that if we go to launch pads, 500, 400. Look, you can. Well, I can't do it now, but yeah, if you go and down, one of those videos had pulse chain on it. Not pulse chain. Pulse pad on it, right? There, pulse pad. There it is. Pulse pad. There it is again. Right, 1000x coin. What else can I see in here? That were my major ones. Game Zone. Yeah, Pulse Pad. Can't really recognize a lot of these. Meta V Pad. Look, Meta V Pad. Pulse Pad again. Meta V Pad. Meta V Pad. And look. Meta V-Pad was 1200x. Game Zone 200x. And then look, Pulse Pad 400x. And Star Launch, I saw Star Launch was in there as well. 300x. A lot of the big gains. Oh, Cryo War, I also saw that. Cryo War, 169x. I saw Star Atlas down there too. 188x. I'm pretty sure I saw Valhalla in there. So, what I'm trying to say is a lot of my best multipliers in gaming and launch pads were made in that little period, weeks after where we are now, 4 years ago. Alright, so I believe that we have got a cycle top to come, but I also believe that most people are going to miss it. So how can we have that? Right? Because everybody's expecting a cycle top in between October and January. Everybody's expecting it. So that tells me that, and as you can see, I have not had those big views since December, right? So I've been working for a year solid, making all these videos, only getting 20k views because I'm building up to now. Right? I'm building up to this potential cycle top. But if everybody's expecting it, and in my past of everybody missing it, there has to be a way in which we hit it but don't hit it. So I've got to tell you that the crypto is designed for you not to make it. Like 80% of retail investors not to make it. So there's got to be a sense where we get it but we don't get it. And actually, if I look back, most people who were following me, which was, I had decent views. I wasn't getting anywhere near what maybe Coin Bureau was getting, Altcoin Daily was getting, BitBoy, all the big channels at that particular time. I was not getting massive views consistently like they were. But they were wasting their views talking about shit coins that weren't going to go anywhere. Whereas the views I did have allowed people to get, these kind of 1000x in Meta V-Pad, 600, 200, 100, 500. These massive X's were all achieved in that small little period of October to November. It was all achieved then, right? So most people missed out. If you were following me, you did not miss out, but you also did miss out. Because all that really went up was gaming and launch pads and metaverse and all the other crypto categories. Layer 1s didn't really go up, not massively anyway. DeFi definitely didn't go up in that little period. So most people in the larger part of their portfolios lost, but if they were concentrating on gaming, launch pads, and Metaverse, they made it, right? So I am expecting, again, the same kind of thing. I am expecting to make it, but not quite make it. Not to hit that top, to get some profits at that top, but not quite get all profits at that top. So it's going to be disguised somehow. Because if everybody would win, it just wouldn't work. That's just not how it happens, right? I should know this because I've seen it twice like no one else has. Most of the people who are crypto YouTubers right now have never actually seen, in reality, what happens when you try and time the top. You don't get it. Despite your best efforts, despite your experience, right? So I believe a top is to come. And I also believe that you need to be taking profits during that time, because what happened in 2021 is that most people actually thought more was to come and didn't sell anything, thinking the cycle top was going to come at the same time for everything. Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, Polkadot, everything. And then all the gaming, all the memes, all the launchpads, all the DeFi, everything was going to come at once, and it didn't, right? It basically stopped short. So what I believe is there's more in the tank for Bitcoin and Ethereum, despite this drop that we have had. I think there's more in the tank, but I don't think there's much left in the tank. And I think that unlike last time, because it remains to be seen, what will trend at the time of some form of euphoria stage. Last time it was gaming, launchpads, and metaverse, and nothing else. And I believe this time it's going to be meme coins. Unless there is some form of narrative that happens to happen in the interim, like AI, like RWA. But I just don't see that happening, right? I only see potentially AI, but definitely meme coins, right? Because meme coins, if there's going to be any form of euphoria, last time the reason why gaming and metaverse did well is because they're easy to understand anyway. And the easiest to understand than both of those narratives is meme coins. So meme coins, I believe, is going to be a mega. It's going to be a mega hit. Right? And I think this is where you need to be concentrating. But even if we have hit a top, which I don't think that we have, even if we have hit a top, I agree with Ionic. I agree with Ionic a lot. You can tell he and I hang out, right? There are years when nothing happens. There are weeks where years happen. That's the game in crypto. Timing. You can sit in red for months, even years. But all it takes is one violent green candle to flip your life. And that's it. And I agree with this. I agree that regardless of a 4-year cycle or not, I think that it's just a case of timing and waiting. You wait for that green candle. And in my personal predicament, I'm in an advantageous position over you or most people, right? In the sense that I can talk about certain things at the height of the market. I can choose what I talk about. Back here, back when I got my 334k views, I talked about these 3 coins. But I could talk about whatever I want. And I to a certain extent can dictate if a cryptocurrency has relevance. And that's what the meme coin market has done, has enabled. And that's what all of the YouTubers with a brain are doing, is that they are picking meme coins. They're not going for chain links and hyperliquids and Asters and Ondos and all these shit coins, which they don't give a fuck about the YouTubers anyway. They don't talk to the YouTubers. The only reason the YouTubers talk about it is because I know there's a big cabal in the background that's saying that's selecting all the top YouTubers and offering them deals. I get offered the deals all the time. There's like, can you talk about, I won't say who, I won't say what project, but they are top 100 projects. And they're like, will you talk about X for this much and make 3 videos about them in the next 2 months, right? That's what I get that all the time. And I don't need the money because I've made so much money in the past. But, I'm not going to mention names, but other YouTubers that weren't around in the past, they haven't made the money. And so they take the money that they're given. They're like, yeah, I will talk about those coins. And they just grab all these deals. And then you see the coins they talk about and they're a pile of shit. They don't move. All those coins do is use those YouTubers' videos for views and use them as exit liquidity. They're like, oh, this YouTuber's talk about it then, so we're going to time a dump. We're gonna dump into volume. Right? That's what happens, right? And that's a game I don't want anything to do with. I don't want to get into those top 100 coins. They don't matter to me at all. They're wealth preservers. I hold them long term anyway. If, like ETH and Bitcoin and Solana, which I will sell it if I can. If it goes to like, even $600, I'll start selling it. Right? Even though I expect a cycle top for Solana to be about 1,000, purely because Solana meme coins will feed back into Solana, give it value. We're already seeing it outside of altcoin season. Solana just hit $260, with ease, outside of a real big altcoin season, outside of a big meme super cycle, because it's strong. I'm going to start selling that at 600k. I'm going to start selling my Bitcoin at, probably about 150k as well. Not all of it, not in big chunks or anything. But, basically, fuck the big A channels, fuck the big cryptos, and really concentrate on where you can make the big money, right? And that's all that matters. And so I believe that it really doesn't matter whether we've hit a cycle top or not, but I don't think we have. But it doesn't matter if we have or not, because we're going to be seeing these peaks and flows. We're going to be seeing profit. We're going to be seeing green candle, red candle, green candle, red candle. And all you need is one of those green candles. You need to just get into the right thing at the right time. Maybe something I'm talking about, at the right time. And then, boom, that's it. You make the money in that green candle. Once the red candle comes, you've made some profits. It doesn't matter, right? So, I've presented with you evidence why I think that if we just roll back the clock, where we were 4 years ago to nearly the weeks, I was saying, are we in a bear market? Just like the title of this. And look where we are. And look what happened literally weeks later. The biggest amount of views. I mean, I went from like having 30,000 subscribers to 110,000 in those couple of weeks. Right? I mean, that's all it needed. And we haven't seen that this time round, right? And the reason why is because look where I am at the moment, right? So basically I was at 25k subscribers around about this time 4 years ago, and then I rocketed to over 100k literally a month later. Okay, now I have only gained, despite doing videos near every week since 2022, I have gained only 50,000 subscribers. I can gain 50,000 subscribers in literally 2 days in alt season, right? And I have covered, correct me if I'm wrong, I have literally covered every single trending narrative because I've profited from it. You guys have profited from it. When AI was going off, I talked about it. When AI agents was going off, I talked about it. When meme coins started going off, I talked about it. I've been on top of every single trend so far, and yet have only gained 50,000 subscribers in 3 years. And yet I could gain 50,000 subscribers in a couple of weeks in a euphoria season. And I haven't even touched that yet. And I haven't had views anywhere near this, despite being a much bigger channel than I was back here. I haven't had views anywhere near that. Nothing near it. It's impossible.
Would you like to learn?
Look at that! I love it. Let's just have a quick listen to it.
Would you like to learn about 3 blockbuster, fully immersive metaverse projects likely to 100 to 1,000x your money between now and the end of the bull run? Bitcoin, large caps, and the entire crypto...
Nothing's really changed, has it, in the last 4 years? It's brilliant. Which probably, I don't know if I even can innovate from this. This was peak Suppoman, to be honest, right? But anyway, the point of the matter is that ever since 4 years ago, I've not had anywhere near the channel surge. No YouTubers have. Even Coin Bureau, like his biggest surge was 4 years ago. This period 4 years ago. Joe Parry's, he went from 100k to 500k because he was making a daily video, right? I was making 2 videos a week and got 70k subscribers or 80k subscribers in that month's period. He was making a video every day and went from like 100k to 500k. Well, no, it was about 400k. He's gained 100k since that point, right? But you get the basic point, right? None of us YouTubers have had the big surge in followers because there hasn't been that big euphoria stage, that big altcoin, that ending altcoin season. And the reason is either because the 4-year cycle's dead and it's never going to happen again. You know, these were pure, you know, one-off or maybe a couple of times that we had these big periods. Or we are just going to be having an ebb and flow situation where we're just like the stock market. You know, sometimes the macro environment causes crypto prices to go down. And sometimes the macro environment, like Donald Trump saying something very, very bullish, makes the market go up. Or the global M2 supply or something like that. And we just have downs, ups, and we make money in the ups. We sell during the ups, and then when the downs come, we reinvest or buy some low caps for the next time we have another upsurge, and that's just it. So either way, we're kind of protected. It kind of annoys me because I want this to be my last cycle. I don't want to keep doing this. I want it to be like we get our selection of coins. Yeah, we select these, we take these to the top, and then we retire. And that's it. That's kind of where I want it to go. If I'm honest with you, I want there to be a violent altcoin season. I want there to be, you know, Bitcoin to 200k, Ethereum to 13k, Solana to $1,000. And if that happens, then all by osmosis, all coins, well, not all, but, you know, relevant altcoins, ones spoken about by influencers, YouTubers, ones that actually gain any form of traffic, they will all go up too, except top 100 coins, because they don't really move. Like the move I did with Pixie just the other day it has already outperformed the top 100. Like nothing's even going to outperform Pixie, and that happened in the space of like 15 minutes. There went from 70k to $1 million market cap. Like that already outperformed most YouTubers, right? But I want this to be the last cycle. I want this to be the end. I'm done with making videos, to be honest. I want it to be over for everyone. You know, we're all out. We're done. We're just done. All of us. Yeah, everybody, every one of you in the chat watching right now. We're done by January or maybe even this time next year. We're just done. But the thing is that the market doesn't make it that easy for us. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But I think we're going to kind of know. But the only thing is, and I'm going to tell you this for real because I suffered it myself, is that back here and back here is that when there is a euphoria season, that's what it is. It's euphoria. People feel so greedy. The greed levels are like, they're hitting the top and they're smashing through. Like greed is so abundant during tops. So abundant that no one sells because they think it's only going up. It's only going to continue to go up. But they miss it. Right? So, basically what I'm trying to say is you've got to be cautious. We are coming into a very cautious area. I would say maximum a year. Maximum a year, but I don't think so, right? But maximum a year. I only say maximum a year because stimulus is meant to come next year, and stimulus would reflect what happened in 2021. What happened here, right? This whole pump really happened as a result of COVID stimulus, right? So if recession stimulus comes next year, we could actually see that next year could be insane, right? But if we just go off the basis of 4-year cycles, really the next 3 to 6 months, well, 3 months really, 3-4 months, should be where we have got to be extra cautious. You know, when people, you got to watch yourself, you got to check yourself as well. If you're feeling greedy, don't think like I did. I remember back in 2021, I remember there was a cryptocurrency. I mean, that cryptocurrency still exists. Star Launch, right? I can remember being at my fucking PC, right? When this was $22. I got into this at 6 cents, people. I got into this at 6 cents, which was the IDO price, and it went to $22. And I sold a quarter. And I thought, tomorrow I'm going to sell another quarter because tomorrow it's going to be $25. Guess what it was the next day? 14. Guess what it was the day after that? 11. Guess what it was the day after that? 6. Fucking lost it, didn't I? So I sold a quarter, kept the 3 quarters, I never sold it. It never went. I still have it. Because from 6 cents to $22, I was too greedy. I only sold a quarter. And that quarter was still a lot of money. It was like $60,000, $70,000. Probably even more. I can't remember exactly, but I think that was roughly what it was. And I was thinking, fuck! This is so much money if I sell it right now. But I thought, no, tomorrow will be more. And I didn't. Right? So you gotta be mindful in Euphoria. It may be the last day. God damn. What a time. Right, let's take some questions. At the beginning of the year, you said September would be the liquidity top. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that it's always a moving goal in crypto. It's always a moving goal. And, yes, basically, that would kind of correspond. Yeah, it would kind of correspond. The market top where we've hit, it could kind of correspond. But the thing is that we haven't had, I mean, you would think we had, if you look at alt season index, you would think we just had a violent, actually, this is wrong. Because we hit 100%, I know we did, on alt season, on the alt season index, right? But there wasn't the pivot where if it was September that we hit the high for Bitcoin, there wasn't the pivot into altcoins for 3 weeks where they have their tops and then bang, it all dies. So you have to look for the signs in conjunction with the potential, dates. It all has to be kind of there. So to conclude, is Euphoria coming or not? There is, like with all people in crypto, you just don't know. Like I remember all the way back in, I think I deleted the video, or at least I hid it. There was a video I did weeks after the top where I said, sell all your cryptos now. But it was tongue in cheek. I thought, no, this is not the end. But it was. It already ended a month earlier. But I just didn't know. No one knew. Everybody was still making bullish videos like 2-3 months, even 6 months after the bull market ended, right? Because you just don't know. You just don't think so. And you're trying your best to make it happen. But it just won't happen, right? Because if the big money have taken their money out, you're fucked. You're fucked, right? So I don't know. I didn't know then. I didn't know in 2017. Like you just don't know when it happens till about 6 months later where you're like, that was a cycle top, right? You just don't know, And if I did know, then fuck. I mean, it'd be easy to make a plan, but you can't make a plan. You can only work with what you've got in real time. And if you're in massive profits, you sell some of that profits. And sometimes there are even bigger profits to come, and sometimes you'll never get those profits back. Super, do you think Satoshi Nakamoto is Wayne King? I don't know what you're talking about. Does it concern you that a lot of knowledgeable people in crypto have said that the top was in already? I don't think there's such a thing as knowledgeable people in crypto. I mean, other than me, obviously. What the hell? Other than me, obviously. I don't think there's such a thing as knowledgeable people in crypto because, I mean, you've got some people like Kathy Wood who said that Bitcoin's going to go to like 400k or something stupid by October. So there's no such thing as knowledgeable people because at the end of the day, people are all trying to pump their bags. So there's no such thing as knowledge. People aren't coming from a place of knowledge. They're coming from a place of I want to pump my bags. That's simple as that. I don't think retail will come back at 2021 levels. Well, I mean, when you say it like that, yeah, there isn't a reason except for the 4-year cycle at this point because this is what's happened in 2017, happened in 2013, happened in 2021. Like the 4-year cycle has always been where retail magically comes in one form or another. It doesn't necessarily completely, it doesn't completely match, but it rhymes, And we haven't, other than Bitcoin, we haven't really had this kind of violent upsurge for everything else, necessarily. Anyone seen Why You Know Guy? Sweden. Oh, sorry. Do you trust Dr. Profit? I've never heard of Dr. Profit. We will pump in October regardless. Don't necessarily be too sure about that. Hold on. Don't be too sure about that. I mean, I think so. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think so. It doesn't necessarily mean I know so. I mean, yeah, October is typically the month, right? Except for 2014 and 2018, which were basically post-bull market years. So post-halving years. So the not post-halving years, post-top years. 2013 was the top, 60. 2014 was the start of the bear, 12. 2017 was the top, 2018 bear. So, but having said that, that trend was bucked, is what I meant to say, in 2022. So you just don't know. You don't know. These are all estimations, but you do not know for sure. Really, I take you back to Ionic. You can sit in the red for months, even years. You can sit on your coins for months and years. But it just takes that. But when it happens, that's all that happens. So you see that, what's his name? Alex Becker. He is like every fucking day saying alt season, alt season, alt season, alt season. But it's never alt season. It hasn't been. Probably, well, for 100% of the times he said that. Nevertheless, one time he's going to say it and it's going to be right. And that's all that matters. That's what it boils down to at the end of the day. You've just got to be there and you've just got to be patient. And yeah, this is such true words. Patience bleeds the weak. Now I won't say that in all occasions, because actually, if you're in some meme coin that's never going to be spoken about again, that some YouTuber got you in, but it's never going to be spoken about again. It was talked about like twice. It pumped those 2 times, and then that YouTuber got all their money out. They're never going to talk about it again. So if you're patient on that, then actually you're weak. So there's not always a one-size-fits-all, but I think that this is just generally. Patience bleeds the weak. Eventually, people just kind of get sick and fucking sell. And they just think, fuck this, right? And I don't blame them for doing so. But me having been around 8 years, crypto's always a moving target. You know, right now, I'm looking at my portfolio and I'm thinking, that looks like shit. 3 months ago, I was looking at my portfolio and I thought, fuck, this is insane. And in 3 months' time, I'm probably going to say the exact same thing again. So patience really is probably the best asset you can have in crypto. Literally is the best asset you can have. Let me have a look. Suppoman, DJI 690 has been stagnating in terms of holders for the past 6 weeks. We need to do something to grow the number. You have to listen to me, all right? I'm making videos week in, week out, hating it. Not gonna lie, I fucking hate doing videos. Videos annoy the shit out of me. Making these videos when no one's buying, it's soul destroying. Yeah, but you gotta keep doing it. That's what happens. You gotta keep doing it. And it's similar with Doge, right? It's maintained. The cult is strong, right? You've just gotta keep hanging in there. Because eventually, things change. And things change dramatically for the better. Because of timing and because of patience, right? And it's the same. You know, do you think I love making videos when all that happens when I talk about these coins is they go down? No. No one likes doing it. Every YouTuber finds it soul destroying. But you gotta keep going. And it's the same with Doge. And what I can tell you about Doge is that they are going to be doing something. So, you know, kind of the point I was making is kind of moot. But what you should be operating is you should be operating more on yourself. Not, oh, the project needs to do this. The project needs to do that. Like when Doge was at 87 million market cap, people were saying, Doge needs to do this, Doge needs to do that. The fucking idiots that were saying that didn't realise how fucking amazing it was doing. They were too busy saying, oh, it needs to do that, needs to do that. No! You need to do that. You need to do something. You need to get on X and you need to post Doge content. That's what you need to do. Because Doge, like most meme coins, are community coins. They are tokenized communities. The strength of the community and the output of the community equals the price, right? So if the community are doing fuck, if there is no community, nothing happens to price. If there's a community but they're doing fuck all, nothing happens to price. But if the community is big, doing something, and then growing the community, which then also do something, it's a perpetuating, compounding cycle of the coin going up. So it's you that needs to do stuff. You know, Doge are doing their job. They're going to be doing more. I know that for a fact, but I'm not going to tell you anything more about it at this point. But what I can tell you is they are going to be fresh for the coming bull cycle. They're going to be fresh. But, you know, I don't care if people are selling it now because that means they're not worthy of it. But, you know, it's you. It's not just Doge, it's you that has to do stuff. People say, oh, Doge needs to get on. People say any coin has to get on exchanges. What makes coins go on exchanges is you. You MEXC aren't going to put a coin with 300 holders on it on their exchange, are they? They're not going to put a token with 1k volume on their exchange, are they? Like, it's the community that makes these things happen, not the team. Although it is a kind of symbiotic relationship where the team encourages the community, which then makes content, which then encourages the community, which then encourages the team, and so on and so forth. But you get the point I'm trying to make. It's a collaborative effort. It's not just the team. That's just fucking stupid. I'll take one more question, and I really have got to go because it is father time. Yeah, it is father time. Pumpy will do well. I think so, but you know, you gotta wait. You know, pump.fun showed a very encouraging step towards becoming a completely different type of coin. But ever since that happened, it's gone down. And until then, everything kind of associated with it goes down. But on the plus side, when this pumps like crazy, mind the pun, so will Pumpy. Do you really think we'll have a recession next year? Yeah, I think it's come to the end of the road, to be honest. I think it's about time a recession finally happens. Bear with me 1 second. What coin should you have patience in? The ones that have held. Okay? Look, Doge, beautiful, it's held. You may think, oh, it's a long way down from 80 million. Yeah, it's held 10 for a long time. Right? Meow, again, this is held. Right? That gives you confidence. Both these teams, Meow and Doge, are constantly making video. They're constantly, not videos, they're constantly making content. They're constantly bringing out more stuff. And Kit Acoin, at some point, very soon, I've actually seen the website. I don't know if they've shared it on Twitter, but I've actually seen the website. It looks fucking awesome. So, yeah, that's coming out very, very soon. But basically, you know, what has shown strength? What has shown good holders? What has shown community collaboration? You know, I haven't got Momo on here, but they are very. I love the community passion with Momo. Pumpy needs Suppo push. Oh man, people, do you fucking listen? Do you listen? You have to wait until the violent green candle, right? I am pushing it. Do you not watch my fucking videos? That you've got. What coin was it? You got Pumpy there. Yeah, you got Pumpy in my last live stream. Like, the time to push is like times like this. This time I was pumping my bags. Oh, bear with me 1 second. Actually, I have got to go. I'm going to have to make a move now, people. So, yeah. So, basically, just be patient and wait for the green candle. Till next time, people. I love you. You're amazing. I'm glad you were here, and basically just perk up, chin up, keep going. Doesn't matter whether we've hit a cycle top or not. Meme coins are here to stay. Meme coins can perform well anyway, and my meme coins, they're beauties. Till next time, people, I've been Superman. You've been amazing. It's lights out. All out.